Hey guys, so I have not filmed a video in a really long time, and I was really inspired to make a video because I just finished watching a documentary called Hungry for Change. And I've gone on a bit of a food documentary rampage the past couple weeks, and I've been so inspired by what I've seen. Generally, how to be a healthier person by paying attention to what you consume. So I wanted to talk a bit about that and also a bit of an update about where I am, what I'm up to. And this is my new apartment, so now you get a little view. And this is Mowgli. He is lying on me right now and purring so much, so I'm just gonna leave him there. So the first thing that I wanted to update you guys on was what's going on with me right now. And so the last video I posted was about how things have been going really well and how I found happiness even in a bad situation after going through a really rough breakup. And so it's been a while actually since I posted that video, and since then I've actually gotten back together with Josh, my fiance. We got back together in March. We're not engaged right now. We're back together. We're living together. We're leasing this really beautiful apartment. We love living here. And things are going really well in that area, actually, like better than ever, I have to say. Things are going so well. So that's one thing. The next thing that I wanted to tell you guys about was my mental health and my skin. Because I have to say that I think both of those things have been doing really well too. Like, I'm in a really good place. That's not to say that things have been perfect, because it's never really kind of smooth sailing. It's always, there are ups and downs, and that's totally normal. That's life. There are ups and downs, and there are moments where I have felt like I was going back into depression, but I never fully got there. I have these coping skills now, and it's been extremely useful to have these affirmations that I keep reminding myself how it's okay to feel depressed. It's okay to have feelings of sadness. It's okay to feel that things might be going back in a negative direction, and that doesn't mean that I failed, and it doesn't mean that all the hard work I was putting in to feeling happy was for nothing because I'm feeling depressed again, because that just leads into further depression. If I start having depressed feelings, I think the best thing that I've done is to accept that that's okay, and that experiencing depression isn't something that's likely going to happen once in my life and will never happen again. And that was difficult to accept at first. And I thought that once I started feeling better, that I was never going to feel depressed again. But that's not really the reality for most people. I can't speak for others, but for me, I don't think that that's a realistic expectation. And that having feelings of depression that will recur over my life is something that's normal. And as long as I know how to cope with it and to not let it spiral, then it's something that can totally be, I don't want to say that I'll embrace it into my life, because it's not something that'll ever be enjoyable, but it's something that I fully accept and I'm prepared for. And I think that perspective has really affected my skin, because lately my skin's been amazing. It looks really great on camera right now. Give you a little close-up. See, I have some... you can't even see, honestly. My skin looks great. I'm wearing some makeup right now, but for the past 2 weeks I haven't even been wearing any makeup. But you know what? I think that I've recognized that my skin like everything else goes up and down, up and down. And it's like pretty much stable for the most part because the downs aren't like crazy breakouts over my face like they were 2, 3 years ago. But I will have breakouts, and that's totally normal, and that's okay. And I go through periods where I'm more stressed, and my body knows I'm stressed before I even do. Sometimes I'll be breaking out, and I'm like, I'm not even stressed right now. Why am I breaking out? And then my skin starts to clear up, and I'm like, oh, I was really stressed at work. It makes sense. Or I was getting my period. It makes sense. So it's never just my skin's clear for the rest of my life. Like I I am not in that place yet. I'm in my mid-20s. I still have hormones and that's a reality. And I really think the biggest thing that I've realized is acceptance of things that happen and acceptance of my body's system. And my body does certain things that won't necessarily like. For example, me breaking out. That's something that I don't really appreciate, and I would love to have perfect skin. But I've accepted that that's just not the situation. That's not the genetic hand that I was dealt. And I am grateful every single day that my skin isn't at the level that it was several years ago when I was mortified to even think of leaving the house. I didn't want to get out of bed. And I just think that it's kind of the big picture has totally changed for me. And obviously I have weak moments where I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I'm really not looking good today. My skin's not looking great. I don't feel good about myself today, and that's okay. That's normal. But I think the important thing is that as a whole, I'm able to look in the mirror and say, I think I look good. I feel good about myself. I feel confident, and I am confident in myself as a person on the inside as well as on the outside. And that's something I wasn't able to say a while back, so that's really important. This doesn't connect directly to Hungry for Change, the documentary that I just watched, but at the end of the documentary, when they were tying everything together, I mean, throughout the whole thing, they were talking about eating whole foods and how sugar is a poison for your body, and I mean, refined sugar, obviously, and sugars in foods that aren't natural, like obviously natural sugars in fruit and in plant-based sources. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about soda and chocolate and boxes of processed junk that you can buy that's addictive and poisonous for your body. But basically they were talking about what you shouldn't eat, what you should eat, and basically how to change your whole lifestyle. And it's a lot of things that I already knew, but it was really so impactful even to just watch it. Like, I think I'm going to watch it again because it was so amazing. And I really recommend that everybody watch this documentary. But one of the last things that they were saying at the end that tied everything together was that the key to changing your lifestyle and eating food that feeds you nutritionally is to love yourself. And this is the most important thing that I can relay that I've learned in the past couple years through my journey to better mental health, emotional health, physical health, is it's so important to love yourself. And you are the only person who can make yourself happy. And I think that something that I was struggling with even up until recently is that I was always thinking that other people were supposed to be making me happy, and that the people I surround myself with should be making me happy. And if I'm unhappy, maybe I'm not surrounding myself by the right people. And for example, when Josh and I got back together, I I was it was amazing at first. It was something we both really wanted. And then when we moved in together, there was a bit of an adjustment period because we had been apart for so long and we had to readjust to being together and to ensure that we don't fall back into bad habits that we had before. It was really difficult. And we actually started going to see a counselor, like a couples therapist. And that was an amazing decision. We found someone that we love. She's amazing, and I see her on my own sometimes, but we usually go together. And one thing that she brought up, and I guess she noticed in what things I was saying, is that no matter what Josh does or how he speaks to me, or if he doesn't know how to say the right thing, he doesn't know exactly how to respond, how in a way that I hope he will. At the end of the day, I can't expect him to create my happiness. I have to create my own happiness, and he has to create his own happiness. And together and when we're both happy people, that's when we can have a happy relationship. And it kind of really just struck a chord with me because I always felt upset that Josh couldn't know the perfect thing to say when I'm feeling upset. When I start feeling depressed, why doesn't Josh know the perfect thing to say to make me happy? Isn't that what being in a relationship is? And isn't that what love is? Somebody knows exactly what to say. And that's not the case. I mean, my mom knows the right thing to say because she's a very emotional person. We're very alike. And when we talk on the phone, if I'm feeling upset, she just like compliments me and makes me feel better, and she says exactly what I want someone to say. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's her job to do, like, it's not her responsibility to make me happy. I'm really fortunate that I have a mom that is so in tune with my emotional needs. And Josh is always there for me, and he's always trying to do the right thing and say the right thing. But he's not my mom. He's not an emotional person to the extent that I am and to the way my mom is. And it's about adjusting your expectations of other people. And I started to see him differently. I started to recognize all the amazing things that he does and the amazing person that he is. And I just started seeing everything in a more positive light. And that made me feel happier. And I feel like since that realization, which was probably about 2 months ago, I feel like our relationship is completely different. And I feel so different about myself too. I just feel like I have a responsibility to myself to be positive and to be positive in the relationship. And I feel the exact same thing coming from him. And I don't know what happened, but just by changing your mindset about creating your own happiness. And obviously there are people you're not going to like in this world. And when you're with somebody in a relationship, you have to find somebody that will accentuate the positives in your life and make you want to be a better person, and you are happy when you're with that person, but that doesn't mean it's that person's responsibility to keep you happy. And I think that's something that I'm still figuring out and still thinking about, and but I find as soon as that clicked in my head, it totally changed everything. So in this movie at the end when they say, love yourself, because then if you feel that you're worth it and that you're a good person and that you deserve to be healthy, then you're going to put healthy things into your body, and that's going to help you be healthy on the inside and on the outside. And by eating healthy, it helps my skin because I'm less stressed and my mindset is more positive and I'm able to cope with stress more. And yeah, it's just kind of the whole big picture starts to come together. And one more thing that I wanted to bring up is that I got a juicer and I got a NutriBullet. And those two things have been amazing because I find that they make it so easy to get the nutrients that I need. So I'm getting leafy greens every single day. I put spinach in my smoothie every single day. My smoothies consist of spinach and then a fruit like banana, or I'll put some frozen berries. I put a vegan protein powder that comes from pumpkin, and sometimes I'll put a bit of cinnamon, I'll chop up an apple, and then I'll fill it with water, or I'll put some almond milk or soy milk or rice milk. And I just bought some coconut water that I want to try out. I haven't tried it yet. And yeah, it's amazing. And juicing is, because you know what? It's hard to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables that you need to eat in the day. You're supposed to have 6 to 8 servings a day, and it's really difficult to consume that much. I find it really difficult. So if I make my smoothie in the morning and I'm juicing later in the day at night, or if I have a smoothie in the morning and a smoothie later in the day, I'm automatically getting so many fruits and vegetables that I would otherwise not have gotten. So I can't recommend that enough. And also, as someone with a sensitive stomach, I find sometimes my body has difficulty digesting certain leafy greens or fruits or vegetables. I don't know, sometimes you can, like, not to be graphic, but you can, when you go to the bathroom, you can see that you haven't fully digested certain foods and you're not absorbing those nutrients. But when you blend them in the NutriBullet or your blender, or if you juice them, your body, it's so easy for your body to absorb all the nutrients. So it's been amazing for me, and I find it's improved my energy. I will say that the one thing that I really have to improve on is exercising. I have been going to yoga once or twice a week, which is pretty good. Sometimes 3 times a week, but it's inconsistent. I haven't created a routine. And yeah, so that's definitely a goal for my next video. Hopefully I will have incorporated exercise into my routine. I was doing gymnastics. I think in my last video when I was talking about happiness, how I achieved happiness, I was doing gymnastics, which I loved, and that was amazing. I got that into my routine, but I stopped because I ended up getting really sick, and I missed about a month or 2, and I lost it from my routine, so I haven't incorporated it back into my routine. So I definitely need to get back on that. So I guess next video I will update you. Hopefully everything is going as smoothly as it has been. I have to say, seeing my counselor has been amazing, because I finally found somebody that I love and that I can relate to, and it's easy to talk to, and she gives good advice, and it's just a perfect fit for me. And I've spoken to many different therapists and counselors, and I think finding the right person is so imperative. And don't give up. If you speak to someone and you don't feel that vibe right away, I mean, you can give it another shot, but don't feel bad if you decide that it's not working out and it's not meeting your expectations. Find somebody that you can really talk to, because it's been so helpful for me. So I will leave it on that positive note, and now I have it. I've said it out loud. Next video, I have to have some sort of an exercise routine, because that's kind of like the last piece of the puzzle that's missing at the moment. So this was a lot of information. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely watch Hungry for Change, and I watched other 2 documentaries that were good. I really enjoyed Vegucated, which after watching I decided to be full vegetarian. No more fish for me. I was eating fish before, but nope, I'm full vegetarian now. Vegan at home, vegetarian outside the house, but not strict. And then another documentary is Food Inc., which isn't about vegetarian or veganism or anything, but it is about the process in America to creating food and how food has become an industry and corporation, and it's really, really interesting. So I would recommend all those 3 documentaries, and I've been blabbing for a while, so I'm going to say bye, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.